and welcome to another episode of the Chaos Chronicles.
Navigating the randomness.
I'm Jess.
I'm Connie.
And
we have social media.
So you might be listening to this on YouTube or Spotify. Both of those are Chaos Chronicles. YouTube is Chaos Chronicles Podcast. Spotify is just Chaos Chronicles. You can also find us on TikTok and Instagram at Chaos Chronicles Podcast. And this week we are going to be chatting about the mystery of 2016 and killer clowns.
We do have to specify the killer clown portion because there was a lot of mysteries in 2016, but specifically stabby clowns.
Yeah.
But
before we get into it, Connie, I have a question for you. What is your favorite item in your house?
Oh, that's what I was supposed to remember. I was like, oh no. What is my favorite item in my house?
Yes.
Non-living item.
Non-living item.
Okay.
Correct. Because I know that would be Zeus, obviously.
Yeah. Followed second by my husband, of course.
Closely behind. Yeah.
Favorite item in my house. Oh, that's hard. I mean, I have to go past, like, assuming we're not talking about the practical of, like, the heater and the water softener.
No, just something that when you see it, it makes you smile. It makes you just happy.
Oh, I do know. That would be, actually, it's right behind me, that picture of me with all 4 grandparents.
Oh,
that one is a great picture. And that's a big treasure. So that's probably my happiest, like, item in the household.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I know you've seen it, but to describe it to those of you listening, my sister-in-law made these really cool, like, wooden ornaments and drew all of the pets that I've ever had on them. So there's 3 rabbits on there, and then Ruby and my cat Bear.
It's a hyper realistic drawing too.
Yeah, so it's in a shadow box, and every time I walk down the steps, I'm just like, oh.
That is a really good one.
Yeah.
Oh, we both did pictures.
We both did pictures.
Of course. Oh, I mean, sometimes those pictures are just really nice because that really makes the house where, like, a couch is nice, a bed is nice, all that other stuff. But, pictures just kind of make it more of a home.
It does. It really does. It just personalizes it. It makes it more homey, welcoming, and warm.
Yeah.
Not the stereotypical cookie cutter.
Not a parade of homes home. Yep.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with a parade of homes. Say that 5 times fast. But it's
I wouldn't want to live in one of them.
No.
It just comes off as more cold to me.
Yeah. Well, everything is the amicable or agreeable or friendly gray. It's all a version of the same, which is actually the walls here, which I did not choose.
Yeah. We recently painted my house, and so now I have the copper downstairs and some nice warm tan going up the hallways upstairs, and then some dark green in there too in the upstairs bedrooms.
You don't have any more of the blue anymore, right?
We have the dark blue in the kitchen and the bathroom.
Okay. I was gonna say
we have a colorful home now that I'm talking out loud.
It's good though. It's not colorful tacky though because it fits with each room that you're in.
Yeah. And it's just nice and warm, and I feel like it fits with the era of the house.
It does, more so than the very odd light blue that it was before.
I call it a pukey green blue.
Don't get me wrong, I like blue. But
I do too, but not that shade.
It just made the house seem
dull.
Lifeless. Yeah, it was a dull life. It was cold.
It was very, very cold.
Which you and Mitch are not cold people, so
no, now it's like very warm, and I like it.
It's very good.
It's a pain in the butt. Totally worth it.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I helped Jess paint part of the house, a very small portion, and then she handled the rest.
Yeah,
that was impressive.
Well, thank you. That was a lot of work. Would I do it again? Probably because of the results, but I was so sore just from painting.
I believe it.
Yeah, yikes.
It's shocking. That's one of those projects that you don't do for a while and you don't remember it being as tedious as it is.
No.
And then you do it and you're like, oh my God, this is why you pay
It's
people
awful.
to do this. You know, it's hard.
And for those of you out there that are like, I love to paint, let me know next time I need a painter. I will call you up to have you come and paint because that was awful.
Right. I know part of the reason I haven't done this place is because those stairs right there. How
No problem.
not
No problem, Connie.
girl, I know you figured out a way to paint your stairwell by yourself.
Well, that would be easy.
Oh, I suppose with an extender.
Yeah. An
Yeah,
extender and a
mine are
nice
just so
ladder. Yeah.
yeah, well, we'll find out because I have one of the light bulbs in the chandelier flickering, and I'm not looking forward to when I have to change that. But it changes which bulb is flickering. It's not the same one each time.
Hopefully they all go out. Honestly, when one goes out, just change all of them at the same time.
That's the plan. Oh, I gotta buy the pretty light bulbs. It's gonna look weird with like the regular ones. Yeah, that's a weird thing. As a homeowner, you have opinions on light bulbs, like strong opinions.
Mitch one time accidentally bought, I told him to buy lights for the kitchen. He didn't know that there was a difference in light bulb colors. So he he bought the super, super white ones.
No, those are the worst.
And the kitchen, no joke, it looked like what you would imagine a serial killer's house would be like. You know, like when they have the footage in the basement or whatever. And
The swinging light bulb.
so, yeah, now, of course, those are our basement light bulbs because we can't put them anywhere else and might as well use them because no one wants them. Shocking.
I have a pair of white ones here because I did a Target pickup order and they gave me white instead of yellow because I ordered 2 boxes. So I got 2 yellow, but they gave me a white and a yellow. And I've used the yellow. And I've got, I don't know if you noticed in my kitchen, there is
Yeah, you pointed it out to me, though.
It drives me nuts, but I'm like, I don't want to try to take them back
You're
or
okay,
anything else. Oh, 18 minutes and we're barely into it.
We're just in our pre-story ramble.
I mean, that tends to happen.
Yes.
Oh, well, assuming we cut back in, we were talking about light bulbs, dogs got distracting. We'll just jump into killer clowns at this point.
All right. So, the killer clowns of 2016. This was when both Connie and I were sophomores in college.
Wow, that was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I still remember this vividly.
I do too. I remember us talking about it.
Yeah, well, I saw a clown at the local park that started like running towards me and my friends. And I'm like, no, no, no.
Yeah, I remember this.
Oh my gosh. That was the most terrifying. And I was up in North Dakota. Well, maybe that's why.
I was going to say Fargo. Which, if anyone thinks Fargo is Minnesota, no.
It's barely North Dakota.
Barely
It's
North
on the other side of the river.
That's true.
You have Moorhead, River, Fargo.
Which, I mean, doesn't mean much to other folks, but I can't tell you how many times when I've traveled, I'm like, oh, I'm from Minnesota. And people are like, oh, Fargo. No.
Nope, not quite. Fargo is not in Minnesota. I remember when I was in paramedic school, we had to have dual licenses because we we served the Fargo Moorhead area. So we frequently went back and forth.
Not the serving part, but just having to do like the licensing for both.
It was more of a just remembering to license for both.
Yeah, that's true.
So the killer clown phenomena of 2016 was a surreal and unsettling trend that captured the public's attention worldwide. It involved individuals dressing up as clowns, often in creepy or menacing costumes, and engaging in various behaviors ranging from harmless pranks to more alarming and potentially dangerous acts.
I love how some of those clown distinction or the clown costume distinction between like regular clown and scary clown, even a regular clown is freaky. Like the only clown that I don't find freaky is Ronald McDonald, and that's because I find him morbid.
Yeah, so at my church growing up,
interesting segue.
We very, very weird. It'll make sense in a second, I promise. But so my mom would have me and my brothers volunteer to be at our church carnival every year, where we would dress up as clowns and make balloon animals for little kids. So I was never afraid of clowns because I think the youngest that I was when I
Hmm.
started going around was 4.
Hmm.
So I was just handing out candy. I couldn't do anything balloon animal wise at that point, but like
Okay, I can see the middle two of the four of you loving being clowns.
it was so much fun. I had a blast personally. I did that. I think I even did it all the way through my first year of college.
Mm. See, like, if you have a good experience, yes, but the only clown stuff I remember is Ronald McDonald, the
Mhm.
VHS direct to home movies that they made. Oh, I
I
love
forgot
those.
about those.
They're on YouTube.
Oh,
I
jeez.
watched them not that long ago with my sisters, and we're like, oh my God, it's so bad, but we love it. But there was that. And then also, there's this Italian children's story, and it is morbid. And I can't remember what it's called right now. I think it's called The Clown of God. Have you heard of that one? I remember it being so sad because it's a story of a little boy on the streets, and he gets with a traveling troupe and he becomes this renowned clown and a renowned juggler. But then he gets old, and one day he drops the ball, and all the love from the public is turned to ridicule, and they throw sticks and stones and tomatoes at him. And he becomes a sad old man by the street. And then he finally dons his clown costume one more time, and he juggles the balls in front of the statue of the Virgin Mary and baby Jesus. And as he's juggling, he dies in front of the statue. And then the statue of baby Jesus holds the ball and smiles. And it's like, oh, it's a miracle. I'm like, he suffered and died for others' entertainment. And they're like, it's a children's story. I'm like, what's the lesson here? Don't juggle. That's the lesson.
What?
Oh, it's a children's book. So see, that's where I'm coming from when it comes to clowns. Like, that's what I've got in my
Okay,
background.
that's fair.
That's the only two things I've got.
That's fair. I also know a lot of people, their first exposure to clowns is it.
Oh, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah.
I forgot about him. Pennywise?
Pennywise.
Pennywise.
Pennywise the clown.
Oh yeah, we all float down here. Huh.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I watched that until I watched it with you. Well, that sentence didn't make sense. I had never seen it until I watched it with you.
Yeah.
Did
I
we?
remember in college, this one random person would tie red balloons to it was right before the It movie came out, and someone would just tie red balloons to train sewers.
What the hell? I mean, knowing that,
Actually, this was around the same
I was
time.
about to say that's making this story make a lot more sense. What is wrong with humans? Short list or long list?
When did It come out? That might be pertinent to this.
I think it was when we were in college. Because It too, that didn't come out until a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know though. My timeline of life is pretty skewed. Because 2016 seems like 2 years ago, but
Oh, there is a chapter 3 coming in 2025, apparently.
I thought chapter 2 wrapped everything up.
I did too. Came out in 2017. So just after all of this clown stuff. Because literally all this killer clown stuff only happened from like August to October of 2016.
That was it?
That was it.
Why do I feel like it was longer?
I know.
And it wasn't really like organized, was it? It was just random folks putting on random clown stuff being creepy as hell.
Pretty much.
Okay. I am so surprised. And I don't remember any stories of this, but maybe you have it in your notes. This is Merca, where we like our firearms. And these people seem to have a death wish. They walking around as creepy clowns and they're chasing people. How did no one get shot? This is the good old US of A.
That's a good question, especially when a lot of these clowns were running around with knives. Mm-hmm. Oh, the clown in the park had a knife. The one that I saw. Don't know if it was real or not, but he had a knife.
Well, you
Or
weren't
she
sticking
had a
around to
knife.
find out.
No. We didn't even, I think we made it like 5 feet from our car and saw him on the bridge. I'm like, nope, turn around.
Not a goddamn chance.
No. Nope. So that's probably the fastest I've ever left. Yeah. I was not alone, by the way, but doesn't really matter.
No, nope. See, that's the time where you can find out what type of friends you have. Because if you have a friend who's like, no, let's stick around and investigate, you can be like, all right, Scooby Doo motherfucker, you do that. I'm going to go. I will talk at your funeral. We're good.
Yeah, unless you're really dumb, I don't think most people would stick around in that situation.
We've both worked with the general public long enough to
I
know that
know,
people would.
but like common sense, people.
Common sense is
Common
not
sense.
common. What's the phrase? Common sense is not common. It is just a curse for those who have it.
No.
I paraphrase that, but it's the truth. That's why my straightening iron says do not use while sleeping. Sorry, it was my crimping iron that says that.
You know that they had to put it on there because someone did something.
Oh yeah, probably the same person who would walk up to the killer clown and be like, "Hey, how goes it? Is that knife real?"
Actually, yeah, I could see that.
I'm just saying there's an overlap.
The origins of the trend are somewhat murky, but reports of clown sightings first emerged in late summer of 2016 in the US, the first sighting being in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Of course it was Wisconsin. Of course. My God.
Our known rivals.
Our known rivals. But also some of the weirder things that I've seen in my serving days when I was a server in a bar right on the river between Minnesota and Wisconsin. Some of the weirder stuff came from Wisconsin.
Yep. No hate on you if you live from Wisconsin, though.
No
It's a
hate on
beautiful
y'all.
place.
I do have a question why you let 15-year-olds drink with their parents in restaurants, though. That is weird. Yeah, a 15-year-old could get
know, but
served.
yeah.
Like that throws me off because then they'd come to my side of the river. Yeah, my side. No, not that territorial.
Talk the same way. Like,
They would. They'd be like, okay, I want a bloody. And then my 15-year-old here is also going to get a bloody. And I'm like, one, why would a 15-year-old want a Bloody Mary? And two, I don't want to have a misdemeanor on my record. So no, your kid's getting apple juice.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, only a few parents really got upset about that.
Yeah. I can also see Wisconsin's a little more free than we are over here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, liquor laws are definitely different.
A lot of laws are different.
Massively true.
Yeah.
I think they have slightly better tax rates, too.
They have a lot better tax rates.
Oh. I was going to say, I can't remember. I just remember at the time when I worked there, because it was in college, one of my roommates, her family was in Hudson. And so therefore she had to pay income tax based on residence in Wisconsin, but working in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a lot of people will, in the Stillwater area, Stillwater is Minnesota side. But so in the Stillwater area, there's a whole bunch of really nice, beautiful houses.
There are like shockingly nice houses.
A lot of people will go across the river, even though they love Stillwater. They go across the river into Wisconsin to buy their mansion on the river, and then they'll come over because it's a lot cheaper for them to do so.
That's so bizarre. Mm-hmm. It's so interesting how much changes state to state when you've got that federal versus state level, which could totally be something on that podcast.
That will 100% be you do the research and you talk to me because I don't understand a lot.
I love that. Girl, I get so interested in that part.
Future lawyer over there.
We're trying. But it's just very interesting because it all comes back to how much freedom do you got?
Yeah.
State versus federal. And with the clowns, hopefully they don't have much freedom. Did anyone get arrested, actually?
All right, let's dive back into it. So it started, the first sighting was in Green Bay, Wisconsin. There were 5 pictures of creepy clowns Gosh, I can't read today. Roaming. I'm zooming in. I'm zooming in,
Roaming is
Connie.
much better than groping. I'm like, oh, creepy clowns groping. That's
I
end of
thought
age shit right
roping
there.
came out. I don't know
Groping?
what roping is.
Yeehaw.
I know that's what
Okay, that's worse. If a clown is coming up with me with a lasso, that should be enough of a defense in court if I shoot them. Like that should be I don't have a gun, but I will find one or I will stab them with a nature stabby stick of some sort. Don't come up and try to lasso anybody.
I feel like all of our podcasts somehow, or maybe on our more creepy dark side podcasts, you always resort to, I'm going to stab her.
I do. Oh, well, I'm Italian Irish. It's part of my DNA. We stab.
Do you want to say your line? Not admissible in a.
Oh, yeah, that good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is purely hypothetical and not admissible in a court of law, not admitting to anything. Haha.
Haha. Like before we get too far here.
Before we shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Also metaphorical.
Yeah. So first sighting in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I don't know how many times I have to redo this. There were 5 pictures of creepy clowns roaming a vacant parking lot under a bridge. After this went viral, numerous news outlets like Fox News and USA Today suspected that it was actually related to a horror film, and it was actually confirmed that there was a Wisconsin filmmaker that was making a short film about a clown titled Gags, and was released in 2019.
Sorry, one more. What was the title?
Gags, Gags, and I guess that was the name of the main clown.
Oh, I heard gays. I was like, wow.
Oh,
I mean, it's Wisconsin, but wow.
A little different. Gags. Gags. And it was released in September of 2019.
Well, that.
Do you want to watch Gags, Connie? I didn't even look up the trailer. I was like, it's probably the dumbest movie ever.
I mean, most of the time, besides it, when you're working with killer clowns, normally the plot line is not too
happy,
engaging.
Not too.
Yeah, I'm good. I would like to sleep. Killer clowns, I'm good. I'm good. They just bring up the violence. But again, it's because of my background of either the Ronald McDonald, which is just weird.
Yeah.
And then again, the Clown of God. Which I have so many questions about children's stories. Like, what the actual hell? They're dark.
Yeah. Some are really dark.
Very, very dark.
Yeah.
Like, Disney does not adapt everything word for word. Thank God, because that would not play well at all.
New podcast episode, Connie?
Dark Disney.
Dark Disney. That would be so much fun, though.
That would be good. The original stories, but also one could argue that Disney's already kind of dark with some of the corporate practices, but that's fine.
Yeah. I'm thinking like Snow White or
messed up.
The Ice Queen, which was Frozen.
The Hans Christian Andersen version. Yes, that one's a good one. Even still, there's so many I can think of. Like the Sleeping Beauty one is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Cinderella has some interesting origins. Do you know about those?
I don't remember. That one's not coming to my mind.
Okay, so the grossest one. Real quick, if you're eating, don't. There's different versions of it from different cultures. But one of the earliest versions of the stories that I read, I was in like 3rd or 4th grade. Why was I reading this? Anyway, it stuck with me. So the version that's very popular, I want to say it's the Chinese version of the story, and I could be wrong there.
Oh, I know this one.
Where,
oh no.
Yep,
yeah.
After, Cinderella has her happy ending, she kills her stepsisters, she pickles them and sends the jar of pickled sisters to the stepmother, who doesn't realize it's her daughters, and she eats her daughters, and then she finds either a note or like one of the daughters' rings at the bottom and like realizes what it is and dies of shock. Good luck making that into a Disney movie. Get a theme park with that going. That's what we call a trauma ride.
Yeah, yikes.
Oh my god, you could totally make it a ride of like going through the intestines. You could be the
Oh,
stepsister.
Connie.
Oh.
Another one, 12 Dancing Princesses has a. Who was that?
Mm.
I think it was by the Brothers Grimm.
I think that was the Brothers Grimm.
Yeah.
Didn't we look that up not that long ago? Or was it not?
Actually, yeah,
We
I think
did.
so.
Because
Yeah.
the original story, the sisters are outsmarted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, there is a lot.
Yeah.
Wow, this might be the most chaotic episode so far.
This is, apologies. Who knows? Maybe it won't. Depending on how long this goes,
That's true.
it might be cut.
Yeah, that's very true.
It might just be TikTok shorts. Or TikToks or shorts.
Or shorts. Anyway, killer clowns.
All right. So the phenomena spread to many other cities, and by mid-October in 2016, clown sightings and attacks had been reported in almost every single state, as well as
Merca.
9 of 13 provinces and territories in Canada.
Oh.
And then it also went to Australia, England, Scotland, and 15 other countries. So it wasn't just the US.
It wasn't just you. What I want to know is why it got popular in Australia. Because if you are down there, you are already fighting to live with a bunch of nature that wants to kill you. Why would you add on clowns? Why?
That's fair.
You got giant ass spiders and shit down there. You got kangaroos. Kangaroos are not cuddly.
Was this when Vine was popular?
I think yes.
Is that why it took off so much? Because of Vine?
I'm still so surprised that Vine shut down. Because that was massive.
It was massive, but it wasn't around that long.
No, I think it was only a couple of years, to be honest. But quite a few influencers got their start and like got actually like a pretty decent following based on Vine.
And then moved to YouTube and other social medias. So
yeah, which was a blessing and a curse for some.
Yes. Yeah. Some made out really well, others not so much.
Circling back to the happy.
In late August 2016, Greenville County, South Carolina, started getting reports of clown sightings in August, and it was rumored that the clowns were attempting to lure children into the woods with money or other incentives. But the clowns fled when the police arrived. Shocking. I know.
Okay, so now we've gone from people being like angsty, like let's scare folks, to what sounds to be pedophiles.
Pedophiles, kidnappings.
Yeah.
You can just go down the list.
It's not a good list. You know, maybe that's why that died out, because people are like, ooh, we don't want to be associated with that. Let's stop doing the clown thing.
Yeah. So initially, the sightings involved clowns standing silently in public places, like parks or alongside roads, and occasionally attempting to, again, lure children into the woods. The incidents, sometimes accompanied by blurry photos or shaky videos shared on social media, quickly sparked fear and fascination.
So it's the American version of the Loch Ness. Cool.
Yeah.
Or Bigfoot. No, we have Bigfoot here.
We have Bigfoot here.
Yeah, because he's in the Appalachian Mountains, right?
Yeah.
Is it Appalachian or Appalachian?
Depends on who you ask. It's very controversial, I guess.
Oh, shoot. Didn't know it was.
Yeah.
And them there mountains.
Yeah. I want to say that the correct pronunciation is Appalachian. I could be wrong. Because I always go to Appalachian, and I think it's the opposite of what I naturally go towards.
I feel like that's probably right. But also, like, we're in the Midwest. We pronounce things weird. And we have a bunch of weird-ass city names in Minnesota. So, like, we pronounce
Bemidji.
Matamidi. That's what I was thinking. Matamidi. Minnehaha. Well, that's a waterfall.
Yeah. Edina. I guess a lot of people have a hard time saying Edina.
Yeah. I found that when I call for work, because the company I work for is national, so there's different departments based in different parts. Folks in the South cannot get Edina, and they can't get Wayzata.
Oh, yeah. Wayzata is definitely... There's a lot of goofy... Ely.
Ely is a weird one. That one I actually didn't know until I heard it on the news.
Oh.
Like, I thought it was Eli for the longest time. And then a newscaster was like, oh, in Ely, Minnesota. And I'm like, oh, I'm wrong.
There are some weird ones. There are a couple that I looked at. I'm like, I don't even know how to pronounce them, but they're
There's hard. Oh, that's
anywho. The nature of the sightings. Did I already say this? No.
people just spooking, and then you left
Yeah.
off on pedophiles luring children into
That's
the
right.
woods.
The nature of the sightings varied widely. While some instances appeared to be harmless, pranks or hoaxes, others took dark turns. There were reports of clowns chasing pedestrians, banging on doors or windows late at night,
No.
and even making threats of violence.
If you start banging on someone's windows or doors late at night, we're going to circle back to the stabby murder thing, which is all hypothetical for court of law. That's how you go and get shot.
Yep. Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so people are smart. Sorry, continue.
In some cases, individuals dressed as clowns were arrested for criminal behavior, which is what you were asking earlier, including disorderly conduct and making terroristic threats.
Good,
Mm-hmm.
good. Wow. I'm just imagining that. What I'm envisioning is the folks who decided to do this were individuals, because it doesn't sound like it was a lot of groups of clowns besides that first one with the movie sighting.
Yeah.
So it's an individual person. I'm assuming very lonely. I'm assuming they think the fedoras are fucking awesome.
Or they just wanted to go viral online.
Viral, but like, you don't think things through, and then all of a sudden you're getting charged with terroristic threats. Like, ooh, that's going to follow you for a long time.
Yeah, have fun with that one.
Have fun with that one. So if you're going to terrorize someone, there's virtual reality. Like, do that.
Yeah.
Go on a video game. Play COD.
Yep. That's the perfect outlet. Mm-hmm. Go do that.
Video games.
Leave
Go
people
fishing.
alone. Yeah.
There you go.
Leave people alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just let people be.
Yes.
And animals, even though I said fishing.
The hysteria surrounding the killer clown craze prompted responses from law enforcement agencies, schools, and local communities. Shocker. But I'm glad that they responded to it.
I was going to say, I'm glad it wasn't brushed off as just like, oh, haha, whatever. It's the luring children into the woods part. There are jokes. And then there's going too far. And like, as soon as you start getting the kids involved like that, we've gone from joke to you should be on a list.
Yes. Don't lure kids into the woods. Tip of the day.
Never thought you'd have to say that, huh?
Oh. So police departments issued warnings urging people to report any suspicious clown activity. And some schools implemented safety measures to protect students from potential threats. Meanwhile, social media platforms were trying to figure out how to handle the flood of clown-related content, with some sites actually banning and restricting posts related to the clown trend. Which, good for them. That was a dangerous trend.
That was a dangerous trend. I'm very interested, though. Okay, so this is my brain. Technically, is that an infringement on freedom of speech if the clowns were simply just standing around?
I know.
I
don't know what platforms it was, but...
Yeah. Well, I don't think there was necessarily a group that was really stepping up to defend the rights of the clowns luring children into the woods.
No.
And we're good with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just... I can't get over that part. I think I conveniently blocked that part from my memory. Like, I remember the other stuff about the clowns, but the luring children into the woods. Although I do remember schools having a buddy system.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember there was something about if you see a clown, just run. Just actually run. Just go.
Oh, shit. Did we traumatize an entire generation of kids because of one indie filmmaker?
Probably.
Well, I mean, generations of Americans have been traumatized by... I can't remember what the first horror movie that did it, but I can see the scene where the guy's reaching into the garbage disposal and it gets turned on. If y'all are watching from a different country, which we have now seen that some of our viewers do come from different countries, in America, we freak out if someone's putting their hand down a drain because we have spinning knives of death inside of our drains called garbage disposals. And if you are ever putting your hand down one of those, you are making sure that A, it's turned off, obviously, and B, that shit's unplugged. I don't even like doing it then.
I don't have one.
Oh, I do. I
Yeah.
had to go in there to get a
I
nail
don't.
out because there was a nail in a vase of
Why
flowers.
is why?
I don't know, but I went to go drain the flowers. It was one that Johnny sent me on my birthday. And all of a sudden I hear a clink in the garbage disposal. I'm like, oh, that's weird. But I go to turn it on and I hear this awful scraping. And I'm like, shit.
Metal on metal.
Metal on metal. So
It's
then I had
great.
to put on gloves because I'm like, I don't know if my tetanus is updated. Probably not. So I'm like, oh, I'm just going to reach in there. Couldn't get it. Had to grab a spatula thingy and get that out. But yeah, it was not good.
Yeah, no.
Whole time I'm like, if there's a ghost here that doesn't like me, I'm about to lose my hand. How did we get on garbage disposals?
Horror movies sticking your hand down drains.
Generations traumatized. Yeah, so actually in that case, those kids will be fine.
They'll be fine.
They'll have a healthy fear of clowns.
Which is, not the worst thing.
That is true.
Not the worst thing. Because of what came out of this. Not the worst thing. According to the New York Times, clown sightings result in at least 12 arrests across the United States and even one death when a 16-year-old was stabbed in Pennsylvania. 16-year-old stabbed by a clown in Pennsylvania.
Ooh,
I didn't go into details on that one.
Do we know if there was a relationship between that clown and the stabby? No, the stabby? The stabbed. The stabby is the clown.
Let's consult the Google.
I mean, obviously I've got a host of questions, but like...
So this was September 30th of 2016. Man arrested in stabbing death of boy while wearing a clown mask.
A man stabbed a boy?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
And he was 29 years old.
I'm curious what his lawyers pled for him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not guilty by reason of insanity?
Honestly, I don't know. Why won't this site work? My laptop doesn't like this website, apparently.
Curse the clowns.
Or it might just be because our laptops are recording the microphones.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot about that part. But anyway, so yeah, it was a 29-year-old wearing a clown mask, and he decided to stab a 16-year-old boy.
Just a random 16-year-old?
No idea. My laptop won't load.
I wonder if we've ever had clown or like a version of this happen before. Because, there's nothing new under the sun.
I wonder if it was like, I could see it being a trend when it came out for the first time, like the original one. I could see that, but I don't have anything to back that up.
I'm just wondering, like, throughout history, if humans have ever, like, run with some psychological or paranormal phenomena thingy. That was very scientific. And just, like, use that to terrorize other humans beyond just, like, Halloween.
Probably.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, going back to your McDonald's comment.
Oh, we got Ronnie in here.
McDonald. Yeah, we do. Have you noticed, since 2016, we really haven't seen Ronnie all that much?
Not that I pay very much attention to McDonald's anymore, but yeah, we don't. Although they did bring Grimace back not that long ago.
They did.
He's
that
so
was
cute.
Fun.
Grimace is just a cutie.
Yeah.
What is he, though?
A blob.
Okay. Because, like, there's the Hamburglar. There was the little chick, the chickie. Oh, my God, that's dark. She represented chicken nuggets. Oh, my God.
I don't even want to think about Grimace anymore. I don't know what he is. I just call him a blob.
I don't know. Why do they call him Grimace? Grimace is like, to grimace,
It's not, yeah,
it's not good.
no,
I mean, he does kind of have like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh
he
vibes.
does.
But he's
just
cute.
cute. Yeah.
He's cute. Oh, but yeah, we haven't seen Ronnie.
In October of 2016, McDonald's decided that they were going to keep Ronald McDonald on a low profile because of everything that was happening. They didn't want to be associated with it.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
That must have pissed McDonald's off.
Probably.
Yeah.
They basically had to rebrand.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
which is now they just focus more on the arch.
Yep, the arches. Well, now they just rebranded again to like.
Oh, did they?
I've been seeing the ads here and there just on Prime. Okay, so in like animes or cartoons, they obviously can't reference well-known brands because copyright.
Right.
So what has been a popular trend for a lot of animes and cartoons is instead of McDonald's, they have Whackdonald's, which is just the M as a W. And so the style of that has now been adapted by McDonald's, and they're doing like the upside down W, and they're using like anime characters in their commercials.
Interesting.
It's like, okay, this is a very specific, like you are not marketing to an average everyday person. Now you are marketing to like 20s and younger.
Huh. Interesting. I have not seen that yet.
I don't watch much TV anymore. It's only when, again, like I'm on Prime streaming something and it's got or Hulu, because that's where Criminal Minds is. And so like I'll see it there. But I'm like, oh, that's interesting, because like a couple of years ago they were focused on the arch, and they were focused on like the family and like everyone gathering, go have the McDonald's. But there could be, honestly, we could do a whole episode on McDonald's because that is interesting.
Yeah, that whole franchise.
The whole franchise. You watched on where is it? It actually might be on Netflix, the McMillions documentary.
No.
Johnny and I just started watching it. It's so interesting. It's about, how McDonald's had the Monopoly games where you can win the millions.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out the advertising company that set up that had been infiltrated by mafia members. And so for several years, the winners were all related to each other. I think we haven't gotten all the way through, but there wasn't, as far as we've gotten in so far, a single winner that wasn't rigged of the McMillions.
Wow.
And it was this like massive FBI undercover thing, and they had to like selectively pull people from McDonald's in, but they didn't know if McDonald's was the one doing it, like if it was an insider job. It's been very interesting so far.
I don't even know what to say right now.
Oh, I know. Johnny and I saw it because we like to watch documentaries or a comedian when we go to bed, and we saw it pop up, and I'm like, oh, I've heard interesting things. So we start watching it, and he fell asleep relatively quick, but I had to pause it because I'm like, I'm so invested in this, I'm not falling asleep.
Yeah.
Like, it was so interesting.
I'm too amped up right now.
It was because like they interviewed one of the agents who had been the undercover agent and like busting all this, and how they had posed as a film crew doing a commercial, like how the PCP, the Publishers Clearinghouse, does the commercials where they bring the check to the person. That's what they did for the sting for the McMillions. And so they went to the most recent winner, and they managed to wiretap his phone, and they've got him out of the house, and they're doing all this, and like he is selling this lie or whatever. And then as soon as the agents leave, they got him on the wiretap, shows that the winner called the dude who was connected to whatever, like, oh, these guys are so stupid, they bought it, we're going to have the check soon. It's like this whole massive scam. It's pretty interesting.
That sounds very interesting.
I enjoyed it. But I enjoy those weird little things where it's just not something that you think about
or expect.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I mean, it's gambling. It was money.
Yeah, it was money.
People try to get involved in gambling all the time.
Yep.
Which is probably why I stay out of it. But I also get pissed when I lose. Because, like, you work hard for the money. Why would you gamble that, especially in something like a slot machine?
Yeah, no. I don't know. I'm not a big gambler either. I like my money. I'd like to hold on to my money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, stocks or bonds, that's a different type of gamble. That's less risky than
Yeah.
casino.
Yeah.
So, like,
No.
that I get. I mean, depends on the account that you're going in and all that stuff, which, like, Dan could tell you more, but
Yeah. No, that's why we have a personal finance guy
yeah,
that controls all of that stuff because I don't fully understand it, nor do I want to fully understand it. So someone else can do that for me.
no, what little I have to deal with on the life insurance end, I'm
Yeah.
like, nope, I am totally okay not being in this world every day because if you're going to be in it, you have to be like in it, in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I like having this free time to sit and talk about killer clowns, Ronald McDonald's, pedophiles. Don't like talking about pedophiles, but they ended up in
No,
there.
they do. So since you're circling back, let's just circle right on back. In New Zealand, there were several shops that actually took down their clown costumes from their shelves because of what was going on. Several school districts in the US issued a blanket ban on all clown costumes and masks, which, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they probably should have done that a while ago. Yeah. And then Target pulled down clown masks from their website and stores.
Good job, Target.
Hmm. And I am not sure where this is. Maybe you do. The village of Memacook, New Brunswick.
I think that's Canada.
Okay.
Don't quote me.
I have no idea.
Pretty sure New Brunswick is Canada. Pretty sure.
But anyways, there they asked residents not to dress up as clowns on Halloween, which makes sense because of everything that was going on. And then my last little paragraph here, we're almost there. Despite the widespread fear and attention it generated, the killer clown craze eventually began to wane towards the end of 2016. As Halloween passed, the novelty of it wore off, the sightings became less frequent, and the media moved on to other topics. However, the phenomenon left a lasting mark on pop culture, influencing Halloween costumes, horror movies, and even inspiring academic studies on the psychology of fear and the power of viral trends.
That would be something I'd actually be really interested in reading.
Yeah.
Power of viral trends, that alone is interesting, but the fear that comes with it, that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. God, I'm so fucking boring if I want to read academic papers.
You know, you're right on par with me and Mitch, though. I'm over here reading studies on dogs and food, and Mitch this morning he ordered a book on ECMO, and so do you know what ECMO is?
Mm.
I don't even fully understand it. All I know is basically it takes away your heartbeat and the machine allows the circulation of your blood. It's kind of like a last ditch effort for people.
It does not surprise me that he's reading on that at all.
Yeah, so he's doing research on that. So now he's reading books on that. Yeah.
That would be so much fun. You know, maybe that's the sadness that I have. I wish that we lived in a world where it was easier and it wasn't considered like an additional something that you have to majorly carve up time to pursue additional learning for
Yeah.
the sake of additional learning.
Yep.
Like, not everything behind paywalls, but like just wanting to learn about something because you can learn about something because
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting. There doesn't have to be a need, a drive behind any of it. You don't have to be making money from it. Sometimes it's just cool to learn something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Let's bring
colleges
that
are not
back.
for that.
No,
It's the
they're
exact opposite,
not.
actually.
I am so excited to be almost done with school.
Yeah.
I know you're not quite there, but
I don't know. I
you
might
at
be
least
going
have a
back in.
break.
Yeah, I did have the break. Thank God. Yeah, but you were almost there, girl. Couple
Almost there.
weeks. Couple weeks.
That is terrifying. Wow. I mean, exciting, but like That flew by.
Yeah, because you're done May.
Beginning of May. I graduate like the second week of May, I believe. I'll get you the date and time. And then, yeah. So bizarre. So bizarre.
I know. But, it'll be one, amazing to have the masters, and two,
Yes.
you'll be done.
I'll be done.
Unless you want to go for PhD.
In what?
I mean, girl, if there was ever someone to create something or find it, it would be you. So, yeah, no, I don't. The dissertation part doesn't sound fun.
No, I think I'll pass.
Yeah. I wish I could pass on the bar exam. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. That's part of the reason why. Part, not fully, of the reason why I didn't go to med school. The MCAT, I was studying for the MCAT. Like, I hate biochem. I love chemistry. I'm okay in biology. It wasn't my favorite. Then biochem, that's just too much information crammed into one semester.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because that part of sciences was not my strong suit. Biochem, is that the same branch as organic chemistry, OChem? Because OChem, I did not enjoy what little exposure I had to that.
I loved OChem.
Really?
I got an A in OChem. But here's the thing. My way of studying for OChem, it was basically just memorization, right? You had to learn like this many carbons, blah, blah, blah. This is the structure. And it can move this way and that way and blah, blah, blah. So I would go around, I would bring Ruby on a WALK, and I would take a quarter of my maybe less than a quarter of my flashcards, because I had stacks on stacks of them. But I would take a chunk of my flashcards and just go through them. So I would just read them as we're WALKing. And I loved it. I loved the movement of things. Biochem was more, it brought in, the chemistry, which is more hard facts, but then it also brought in how everything moves and like the Krebs cycle and I couldn't do it. There was too many different moving parts.
I do remember you talking about Krebs cycle. I don't remember anything about it, but I remember hearing it.
I could not remember it to save my life. I could not. And the funny part is, Mitch was like, I loved biochem. It was my favorite class.
Of course.
He was like, behind cell biology, that was my favorite class. I never took cell bio, and no thank you.
No gracias. You don't drop me in English, drop me in a math. Give me algebra, give me trig. I will take all of those before I will do the science.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on our very chaotic Killer Clowns episode. Hopefully you guys had a good time listening. If you would like to check us out on our other social media platforms, we are on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and just recently Instagram. Mm-hmm. So feel free to go check. Otherwise,
I think that's kind of it. If you're so inclined to leave in the comments, what do you remember about the Killer Clowns of 2016?
Yeah.
Did that get anywhere close to you? Did you care about it? Did you get, terrified like Jess did, understandably? Curious. Just let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, like Jess said, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.